Well, it was in Blackpool 7 years ago that David Cameron's speech won him the party leadership. Since then, Conservative fortunes in the town have fluctuated, winning a parliamentary seat but losing the council. Stuart Pollitt's been asking the town's businesses if the government understands what Blackpool needs to flourish.
We can change this party and we can change this country.
My kind of town.
We're not frightened of debate. We don't mind having an argument.
My kind of razzmatazz.
This is where David Cameron's journey to number 10 started, with that speech 7 years ago. Since then we've had rebranding, we've had detoxification, hoodies have been hugged. But have the Conservatives managed to shake off the nagging suspicion that actually they don't really get places like this? They don't understand regions like ours. This vitamin and supplement manufacturer is the sort of business Tories traditionally like and understand. One that's in good health, employs 75 people, makes a profit and wants to expand to bigger premises using a flagship government invention.
We've been in touch with the Regional Growth Fund, who've been very helpful so far. We appear to tick all the right boxes for them. I would say it's not been as quick as we certainly want it to be. We want the money in the account tomorrow, but there seems to be a lot of form filling to do, a lot of boxes to tick.
Our potential is to at least double our size in the next 2 or 3 years, so that would put another 20 or 30 people in employment.
Are they on the side of people like you?
It's difficult to tell. I think they're on their own side, really.
Peter and Richard aren't the only businessmen searching for investment.
We conducted a survey earlier this year, and over 70% of the people that took part said that they were struggling to get the finance they need.
Do you get the sense then that people think that the government's applying a policy which maybe suits those in Berkshire or Kent, but perhaps isn't attuned to the needs of Lancashire?
Most definitely. It's a whole series of things that Lancashire is so desperately crying out for.
There were true blue rinses, if not necessarily true blue voters, in the Tower Ballroom this week. The company which runs this attraction benefited from millions invested by the now abolished North West Development Agency.
If there was no funding available, Merlin would just quite simply would still have one attraction rather than 8 in the town, and I think that's really, really critical, and it'd be really, really sad for the town not to have that choice, because where would Blackpool's future be?
When you take a walk along Blackpool's promenade, it's not difficult to see where a lot of that MWDA funding has been spent. And although it looks very smart and quite glamorous, the Conservatives would argue that the cash should be spent elsewhere.
Yes, we've got a nice new promenade, but local people can't use it anymore because the traffic is always backed up. We've replaced the NWDA by local enterprise partnerships across the country, one of which is covering Lancashire.
The total size of the pot of money is substantially reduced by more than 90%. So the ability of the LEP to step into the shoes of the RDA we're hampered really from birth. When they win power, they focus on their people, their voters and their constituencies. And I think they quite happily sacrifice half a dozen North West MPs.
I think that would be wrong of them to say that, and rather short-sighted. If we actually all stop throwing mud at one another and try to work together, yes, we will start to see the fruits of economic growth.
And whether that economic tide turns in places like Blackpool will go a long way to deciding the fate of many a politician, including perhaps David Cameron himself.